It beats me why many people go to the gym for just a few weeks, and before you know it, they're convinced they can't take it anymore. Even professional fighters. The confidence from your first few workout sessions and the adrenaline rush is quite understandable. But going forward to challenge professional fighters has to be the dumbest idea anyone has ever thought of. Let me be the first to tell you, if you haven't been told, if you haven't spent a couple of years training and you haven't gotten into the big leagues yet, for your own sake, stay away from the professionals, because plainly put, you ain't ready. And for these people, no one told them. Well, in today's video, we'll be looking at some of these amateur fighters who challenged real fighters and, well, got what they needed. A professional beat-up. Kung Fu, my foot. Now first we have this so-called Kung Fu master versus a professional fighter. This Kung Fu master, for some reason, thought his best shot was hiding his head on his opponent's chest. But unfortunately, uppercuts aren't something he's considered before. While the professional leaves him to run around as much as he wants and finally gets tired and puts an end to this child's play with a few uppercuts and body punches, and in less than a few seconds, we're able to see who the actual master is. WONDERBOY. Orthodox pro or an unorthodox fighter? To be honest, I don't know which would be easier to take on, but here we'll be looking at the YouTuber Houston Jones that thought it wise to challenge professional fighter Stephen WONDERBOY Thompson to a sparring session, and as anyone would imagine, it didn't end fairly. For Jones at least. I bet Thompson had a good time schooling the young man. I mean, look at the video. It's quite obvious that challenging an expert striker isn't something Jones will be doing again, as he could barely utter any words after this, considering how bloody-mouthed Thompson had left him. Street doesn't always mean street. Not many people understand that being a street fighter is not enough to get in the ring with a professional fighter. But here was the very, or rather too brave street fighter who was confident enough to challenge a Muay Thai instructor. Now, if this was a random fighter or instructor, this sort of courage would have been understood. But for someone who was an instructor of one of the most brutal martial arts in the world, none of this made sense. Honestly, nothing pushes anyone to do things like these but ignorance. Because watching the video, you can clearly see how unskilled this street fighter is, as he can barely land a perfect blow against all the punches and leg kicks that are coming straight at him. What better choice did he have than to hang on to the ropes as his life depended on it? Prison break. Here we have a former professional fighter, gym owner, and coach, Dorian Biopierre, who was challenged to a sparring match by this random dude who claimed to have been in and out of prison multiple times and needed somewhere to train. He said that he wanted to challenge Biopierre first before joining the gym, and even added that he was going to whoop his ass. Such confidence. Well, as they say, pride comes before a fall. And this case was no different for this challenger who was beaten up so easily with just 10 punches. I mean, the man could barely stay on his feet with his terrible footwork and his punching techniques. Even worse, with just 2 punches, he was already on the ground, and with 10, he could barely say his name right. Whatever gave him that confidence is something we'll never understand. Yellow Shorts Guy. The story behind this fight is rather interesting because, unlike the usual amateur challengers, this guy in yellow shorts was challenged to come show off his muscles in the ring by a professional fighter after he showed them off on the internet. And guess what? He accepted the challenge. Now, here's my first observation. There are no muscles there. Second, this professional just needed a play toy. And last, the guy in yellow shorts isn't the smartest person on the planet, because worse than challenging a professional is being challenged by one. Because why will you in your sane mind not see it as a trap? Well, Scorpion X, the challenger at the beginning, had his hands and feet to himself. However, in the fight, he made sure to show why he was the professional with his amazing skills, both by dodging all the rookie's punches and also grappling with them. Just a little respect. The day you choose to disrespect your coach is the day he teaches you why he's the coach. And we have a not-so-different case before us, as the shirtless guy here texted the coach Mercedes to spar for him. He boasted about how he was an MMA fighter and he was also a boxer for years, and that he could defeat any boxer in the gym. And like any professional will do, Coach Mercedes invited him over to the gym to work out. The young man warmed up and started to challenge the younger boxers in the gym, However, Coach Mercedes didn't appreciate the bullying comments from him, so he asked him if he wanted to spar with him, and with so much pride, he agreed to the sparring session. The coach, not wanting to harm the young man, decided to use 20-ounce gloves. Nevertheless, he still made sure to teach him a lesson. It was so clear that the young man couldn't do much against such a professional defense, and regardless of how considerate and calm the coach was, he still made sure to land some punches on the rookie's head. And that indeed had a humbling effect on the young man. Accusing fingers. Last on our list is this so-called Tai Chi master in white pants who couldn't just accept defeat and instead blamed his downfall on everything but himself. A little backstory. Well, Chen the Tai Chi master challenged the awesome fighter who takes pleasure in exposing these wannabes. Well, he did it again as he severely whooped Master Chen's ass in the ring with just 2 blows, and he knocked him out. And how did the master respond to this? He blamed the sun for blinding his eyes, the surface for being too soft, and the fact that he hadn't trained in a while. Okay, let's pause there for a second. Why do you challenge someone to a match without training? And as a Tai Chi master, shouldn't you always be ready for a fight? Well, he went on and on and on and forgot to blame the fact that he had terrible skills, or none at all if we're being honest. Just have some dignity and accept defeat, Master Chen. Wow, that definitely was a long list of amateurs, and it scares me that there are even more out there. But unfortunately, this is all we can cover today. So please hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and click that bell so you don't miss an upload. Till next time, thank you very much for watching.